Guys, welcome to another episode of Rapid Fire. I'm your host, Buck. Thanks for tuning in. We got a few things we're going to talk about today. You can follow me, but first, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Anchor for podcasts. All the information is in the description below. But a few things we're going to talk about is one was I know we discussed the Jacksonville shooting at the landing, and basically how that place has closed down since then, and basically what's interesting to me is being military. Basically you always think security. So when I went to a Madden tournament when I was in Texas, and it was a gaming restaurant. That's what I call them. A gaming restaurant. Basically, like, the reason why I say gaming restaurant is because they have stations with consoles, kind of like the MWR, right? So it looks like a place that's supposed to have Xboxes and PlayStations, and basically like a rec center. Like back in the day, how they had rec centers. That's what an MWR basically is. They have like popcorn, movie rooms, places for you to read, places for you to do your homework if you got laptops, all that type of stuff. So the landing in Jacksonville where the shooting happened, it was held at a place called Chicago Pizza, which is basically like a pizzeria. So basically they altered the restaurant to turn it to an MWR or a like gaming restaurant, right? So that had already violated the fire code because exits were blocked with game consoles and TVs and all this other type of stuff, right? So the fire marshal shut down the Chicago Pizza, and basically he blamed it on the owner. And I'm not so much for the blame game, but in this situation, kind of, sort of. But listen to what, well, not listen, I'm going to read. This is on Engadget, right? So, Madden shooting survivors filed a lawsuit against the EA at the venue, right? So, the fire marshal said if the Chicago Pizza would not have altered the layout plan by creating an unpermitted game room area, the video game tournament would not have occurred. Thus, incident would not have occurred at the Jacksonville landing. And that was the Jackson Fire Marshal Kevin Jones. That's what he put in his code violation report. And that's very, very, very simple. And the reason why I say that is when I went to Afghanistan, I had to take a class, a fire marshal class, due to the fact of the stuff that I was like handling, right? So I had to take a fire marshal class and learn about codes and basically how big a room, square foot can hold how many people and all that other type of stuff. So I had to take that class when I was in Afghanistan for certain missions or whatever to understand like personnel and the size of a room and blah blah blah. So anyway, me going to that tournament in Texas, not saying that was the first thing on my mind. Oh my gosh, it could be a shooting. Yes, in a sense, some people do things like that everywhere they go. That's part of like the PTSD. Like you always like think things out to the max extent. Some people do. But anyway, like the game venue that I went to for the Madden tournament, it looked like a game venue. So I was like, okay, it looks like what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? So not saying that it was wrong, but also I do blame EA. And the reason why I blame EA is because EA is $1 billion company, right? They got so much fucking money. And they know that they're going to have an event. Before that person locks in that event at that venue, they need to have like boots on the ground. Like in the military, before you deploy or go somewhere, you send a team out first. like that's your torch party, right? And they go out, set everything up, make sure that the rest of the group that's coming, you know what I mean, is gonna be straight. So here, for EA just to pick a spot, a Chicago pizza place, EA should already know that it has to be at a venue that can hold so many people and the fire code and blah blah blah. EA should already know that. So that means since it was held at the Chicago pizza place, right, which it should have never been at in the first place, EA should have known that before they even locked that in. Any of us could have called in. I should have called in and said, hey, we're going to have the Madden tournament in my backyard. You know what I mean? Even though it sounds crazy and it's like that shit would never happen because it's not allowed. Then why the fuck was it allowed at the Chicago pizza place? Blame EA. Anyway, that's my opinion on that shit. I was reading something else too, and I thought Khalil Mack got traded to the Bears, but what I was reading from ESPN might have been a spell check. Like, she might have misspelled this shit. It said Bills, right? So yeah, so they put Bills, but it is the Bears. The lady, she put the shit wrong. Anyway, they traded. The Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 6th-round pick to get Khalil Mack. 2 firsts, a 3rd, and a 6th. That trade could possibly put Oakland in a good spot. And I like John Gruden because he won the Super Bowl for Tampa Bay. But that's an ad, my bad. Apologize. Alright, so the Bears have reached a setting 6-year, $141 million extension with Khalil Mack on Saturday. Of course, they told Adam Schefter. Chicago acquired the 3rd pass rusher from the Oakland Raiders earlier this year, but he did not release to terms. Mack is now the highest defensive player in NFL history. Deal, which averages $23.5 million per season, includes $90 million in guaranteed and $60 million at signing. So we talked about this in another podcast. Like, that deal, did you sign? So it says Mack is now the highest paid defensive player in the NFL history. The deal, which averages $23 million, includes $90 million in guaranteed and $60 million at signing. All right. So when he signed his name, he gets 60 right then and there. And then throughout his contract, even if they cut him tomorrow, he still gets that other $30 million because that's guaranteed. You know what I mean? So they were like, hey, you know what I mean? Since you decided to come with us, we can give you 60 up front. We can give you 90, but we can give you 60 up front. You know what I mean? Do your thing, and then you can have this other 30. But if you fuck up, you know what I mean? If you grabbing girls by the pussy and stealing crabs and doing all this crazy shit, we're going to cut you and you ain't going to get your other 30. That's right here in this contract. So when you sign this, we can give you 60 and you understand what you got to do for the other 30. That's how the contracts work. So, Khalil Mack, Bears, 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, a 6th-round pick, $60 million up front, $90 million guaranteed. Serious. Moving on from that. So, said J.R. Smith turned himself in New York from a case that was on him from May or some shit. So basically, what I read was a fan tried to take a picture of him, and he took their phone and walked away, and it was a nearby construction site, and he threw the phone in the construction site and fucking just walked off. My thing is, you always in the spotlight, and that shit could be gone like in a blink of an eye, and people they think like they're always. And I had to go through this too. Like, I'm looking up football. Okay. Yeah, like he knows better, man. Like he's been in front of the camera, you know what I mean? Playoffs, the fucked up mind boggle thing, and basically somebody trying to take a picture of you because you're a fan or whatever. You got to think, like, even though like you may not feel like it, you know what I mean, you can make that person like day better, but instead you made this person's day worse, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get more negative feedback from this than more positive, you know what I mean? I think them motherfuckers got to go through like class and shit before they, like, you got to take a class when you sign your contract to help from shit like this happening. And y'all may think that's crazy, but if you put yourself in the shoes of that billionaire owner, who has to sign these $1 million checks, and you don't want to pay for stupidity, you don't want to pay for people keep getting arrested all the time or a bad track record, because now that's going to fuck up your bottom line. So you want to sign the best people for the job that's going to bring in the most money for whatever business or whatever thing you're into, you know what I mean? So like J.R. Smith, like if I was the Cavs owner, I would cut him, because that's stupidity, you know what I mean? Like you're representing something bigger than yourself and what you're feeling. So it's like us being in the military, a lot of people in the military, I know y'all feel like y'all don't have a foot or anything to stand on or voice your opinion and all that other type of stuff. I know that's how you feel, but that's what it is, because you're under contract. So whatever they say within reason, you know what I mean, deployments, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff, back-to-backs, it happens. I've been there. So if you don't like it, get out, you know what I mean? So yeah, all that shit is not right, but at the same time, you can't. Some things it's hard to say because everybody is in different positions. But James Jackson. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean. Hey, I done fucking lost my train of thought, but it's all good. Hey, but we're gonna wrap it up on that. Khalil Mack to the Bears for 2 firsts, a 3rd, and a 6th round pick. $60 million up front, 90 guaranteed. EA should have known about the fucking fire marshal. EA should have known about the Chicago Pizza place not being a real spot for a gaming event. Now this is gonna change all the gaming events for security and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're gonna start charging money for people to come in now because they realize how big and serious it is. Watch what I say. What is this? September 2nd, 2018? They're gonna start charging for people to come watch people play for video games. All y'all parents who said that shit was stupid and blah blah blah, I bet you they fucking kicking themselves now. You know what I mean? There's a lot of millionaires that's about to come up through video games, playing Fortnite and shit. Watch what I tell you. Other than that, that's Buck signing off. Make sure you comment below, and I'll see y'all on the next one.